Hi, everyone. I'm Katie Proudfoot, the director of the Sir James Dunn Animal Welfare Center. And this short informational video gives you some tidbits about our 2023 Sir James Dunn Animal Welfare Center grants program. So to start with, deadlines. We've changed these slightly from last year. They're a little bit earlier. So our notice of intent, which is optional, and I'll go into that in a minute, is due on September 15th at 5 p.m. Full applications are due in mid-October, so October 13th at 5 p.m. For the notice of intent, this is something that is completely optional. It's a one-pager, a general description of the project, and it's not used for screening. So if you submit something and it doesn't seem like it's a good fit, you can still submit a full application, but essentially you'll get feedback from me that provides information on how you could make the grant potentially fit better for Sir James Dunn grant program. So these can be submitted directly to me, and you can find the form on our website. As far as the full application, we do have one slight change this year in that we have 3 separate forms. So depending on what type of grant you're doing, make sure you use the correct form. So we have research, service, and integrated projects, and I'll describe those in a minute. So if you're doing a research project, just ensure that you're using the research form, and same for service and integrated projects. You'll submit 1 copy in Word format and 1 copy scanned or PDF with signatures to Sherry Pino. So coming back to the project types, this is the same as last year. So we have research, service, and integrated is essentially a combination of research and service together. In terms of research, the budgets are the same as last year, so $100,000 total for up to 3 years. We're looking for both natural and social sciences, and we strongly encourage including graduate students. We no longer have our graduate student scholarship through Sir James Dunn, so instead we're encouraging PIs to put graduate students into their grants. Something that I cannot emphasize too much is the fact that you must show clear relevance to animal welfare. And if you have questions about whether or not something is relevant to animal welfare, please reach out to me and I can give you feedback. Here's a couple examples of types of projects that would fit well with this. This is not an inclusive list, but just gives you an idea. So for example, if you have a project that uses novel methods for assessing or relieving pain or distress, these are things that are considered emotional states or affective states in animals, which is really critical for animal welfare. Using behavioral, physiological, or psychological studies to improve animal experiences, housing, and management. Developing innovative alternatives to replace, reduce, or refine the use of animals in research or teaching. Social science projects used to improve animal welfare by increasing the understanding of stakeholder perspectives. That could be veterinarians, that could be students, that could be the general public. Or epidemiological studies used to identify risk factors for some animal welfare outcomes like pain and distress. Finally, studies to increase understanding of the implications of disease on mental experiences. So we have a lot of expertise at AVC on health and different diseases, but a big gap in the literature is how disease actually impacts the animals in terms of their emotional states. In terms of service projects, these budgets are smaller, so $25,000 for a total of 1 year, but these are renewable. So that means you can continue to apply for this grant every year for the same project. These tend to be activities that directly relieve pain, suffering, or distress in a vulnerable population of animals, and engagement with community partners is critical for this because this is sort of one of the purposes of service projects, and it helps create innovative learning experiences for our students. In terms of integrated grants, budgets must not exceed $100,000. So these are the same budget as research grants, and this is a combination of research and service. Because it's a combination of research and service, it does require multidisciplinary teams. So again, this is where perhaps you have an idea, maybe you don't know exactly who can help you with that idea. Please feel free to reach out to me or submit an NOI, and I can help you find collaborators that can help make your grant successful. Some ideas for this is like kind of combining sort of the ideas of the research and the service grants. So let's say you have an activity that directly relieves pain, suffering, or distress in a vulnerable population of animals, and you're able to actually measure the outcomes on the animals themselves. On the other hand, let's say you have a really neat opportunity to engage with a community partner, and that gives students this great experience to be able to go out and learn in a real world type setting, and you're able to actually measure student learning outcomes from those experiences. So both of these could be examples of integrated projects. In terms of evaluation of the application, there is a separate video on this, so I encourage you to look through that. We also have a pretty detailed grid on our website that gives you lots of information about how these grants are adjudicated and evaluated. And there's three sort of main areas that we're looking for. First and foremost is relevance to animal welfare, but also we're looking to make sure the proposal reads well, the objectives are super clear, you have good alignment between what you say you're going to do, what you actually do, what your team has the capability of doing, and then of course expertise within your team. Do you have the right people to actually get this project done? So if you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to me or to Sherry, and we can get your questions answered. I do highly encourage you to submit an NOI, especially if this is something new that you're trying out, or if you have just basic questions about how these grants work. I'm happy to chat anytime. With that, I'll say goodbye and good luck.